Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Today I'm going to be going over a character who I'm mostly scaling because I've never actually seen a scale for him online, so I'll be the first. The character in question being Bibleman. The show is terrible. I just want to put that out there. I've seen people try to argue the show isn't cringe. Motherfucker, the show is cringe as hell, okay? Like, we all know it's cringe. We all know it's awful. The only reason you would ever watch the show is to feel horrible. The first thing I want to do for Bibleman is go over his attack potency. Now, attack potency represents the amount of energy I can output. For instance, if I can output enough energy to harm a character who can tank attacks that can destroy a solar system, I would then have a solar system level attack potency. Now, unfortunately, Bibleman does not have any feats placing him, honestly, anywhere near solar system level. However, Bibleman has been able to overwhelm with his lightsaber electricity attacks that can vaporize a human. Vaporizing a normal human would be a feat that would be worth 0.0729 tons of TNT, or AP-wise, or that's the short term for attack potency, small building level. Later on in the series, Bibleman can deflect lasers that can incinerate people, which is a feat that would place him anywhere from 0.0573 to 0.0610 tons of TNT, or once again, small building level, attack potency wise. Throughout the early parts of the series, all the villains are very relative to one another, with all of them literally being the same actor, almost. Not to mention, they're all set with a similar average of stats in the Bibleman card game. On more than one occasion, we have Bibleman villains pressing Bibleman into a spot where he very much will get injured from their attacks. With that in mind, Bibleman, as I will explain later, has a small building level durability. All these villains can harm him, and his lightsaber can clash with the villain's lightsaber. Therefore, we have even more consistency for Bibleman being small building level. Now, Bibleman would be at a small building level attack potency earlier in the series until we get to Bibleman in his upgraded suit. This upgraded version of Bibleman takes on a villain named Drool. This villain named Drool being on a completely different level than anything Bibleman has faced so far. Drool's regular attacks are also on a completely different level than what Bibleman has faced so far. Drool has two different forms of attacks, one being plasma-based attacks, and the other one being literal lightning. Not only does it have a magnetic field strong enough to fuck with a supercomputer from miles away, it also is created through a weird simulation that kind of replicates how lightning is made in clouds. The CGI budget for this show is absolutely horrible, just awful. So when it tries to create something like this, we kind of have to just assume that it's trying to replicate how normal lightning is created. Now, Bibleman can temporarily, with his lightsaber, basically match the energy of the lightning, putting Bibleman's attack potency at this point at building level. This is based on the fact that lightning bolts can or do generate a force of 0.3824 tons, or building level. For Bibleman's durability, we have Bibleman tanking the Gossip Queen's electricity. This electricity is capable of completely vaporizing a human, as I have shown in the last part. Now, as I've already described, this would be a small building level attack, and Bibleman is capable of pretty consistently tanking the lightning. Later on, we have Bibleman surviving a laser that can completely vaporize people, once again making that small building level durability pretty consistent. On top of all this, Bibleman can survive falls from decent distances. I wouldn't say these distances are anything majorly impressive, and these feats don't really bump his durability up whatsoever. It's just an interesting note. Now, all of these feats are before Bibleman gets his upgraded suit. In his upgraded suit, we see him tanking Drool's plasma attacks. These plasma attacks are, as I've already described, at a completely different level than anything Bibleman has faced so far, placing these at an attack potency higher than the previous attacks. These are just Drool's base attacks, as at Drool's full potential, he can release lightning strikes. These lightning strikes being comparable to actual lightning strikes. Lightning produces a building level force, and we have Bibleman tanking this lightning for an actually decent period of time, meaning that with his upgraded suit, he is very consistently in that building level tier. of durability. To go over Bibleman's speed, we have him being able to react or at least move at a comparable pace to the Gossip Queen's electricity. Electricity coming from a homemade non-lethal coil gun can still reach supersonic speeds. In other words, Bibleman would have combat speed at his bare minimum comparable to that of a bullet. Now, throughout the series, we have Bibleman being able to react to lasers. These lasers are never really stated to be light speed, nor are they provably light speed, so I'm not going to claim that Bibleman has like light speed, combat, and reaction speed, but these are consistency for him being somewhere in that faster than a bullet range, considering the technology that the demons that Bibleman's fights has is a lot higher than the technology that they had at the time, so it'd be a little bit weird for the lasers to be slower than bullets. Supersonic speeds are far from Bibleman's best speeds, as Bibleman easily clocks in up into a massively hypersonic range of speed. We have him being able to react to this lightning bolt. Now, this lightning bolt is powered by a device that was literally draining power from his unlimited power grid. Now, whether his power grid is actually unlimited is unclear. However, the villain does state it's unlimited, and an unlimited power grid would be more realistically just a very, very, very large power grid. We also know it's a massive power grid. The villain was going to use this power grid to project his attack across the entire city. With this in mind, saying that it has enough voltage to be an actual lightning bolt or comparable to an actual lightning bolt is not inconsistent whatsoever and makes total sense. However, if that's not enough to convince you, we have Drool being able to create lightning. His attacks are plasma-based. Not only that, his lightning creates a massive magnetic field, and his lightning is created in a similar process to how actual lightning is created. With all this in mind, Bibleman being capable of reacting to this lightning would once again make this massively hypersonic rating for Bibleman's combat and reaction speed extremely consistent. Bibleman also has teleportation, however, this is travel speed, not combat and reaction speed. On top of all this, Bibleman has a motorcycle which allows him to reach subsonic travel speeds. Moving on to Bibleman's abilities, we have teleportation. I just talked about this one. He can go from one area to another instantaneously. Another ability he has is force field creation. He has access to the Faith Shield. The Faith Shield is basically his final resort. In other words, if he gets defeated or his weapon is thrown away, he can just trust in God, and God will give him a force field that cannot be penetrated by any characters at a small building level of attack potency. Bibleman can interact with beings normal humans can't see. Even if his lightsaber is knocked out of his reach, he can recall it with his suit. And finally, he has light manipulation. We see him literally use faith-based light to kill an opponent. Bibleman actually has a handful of resistances. He can very consistently overwhelm most things with faith in God. He does resist diseases. We've seen him overwhelm spiritual germs with faith. He also can resist heat. Obviously, we've seen him tank electricity that can vaporize someone, survive lightning. That would be a level of heat resistance. Fear resistance, he can overwhelm with his faith, a device that induces fear. He is weakened when he loses faith. This is a canon thing that happens in the series, but he has overwhelmed a drug that enhances his doubt in God before with his faith in God. So it's not like it's a weakness like kryptonite where he gets hit with it and he's just done for. For Bibleman's actual combat skill, we don't really get much in the series. The best feat, I would say, is being able to, like, even though he gets dominated by him, kind of fight Drool. Drool is a character who we know is like this intergalactic alien who has been going world to world, like conquering things. Since that's what he wants to do in our world, we're just gonna assume he's been doing that for a long time. He seems to be very set up with his spaceship and everything. But Bibleman, without his group, doesn't really scale that well to Drool. Bibleman can like predict where attacks are coming from pretty consistently. So that is a form of skill, obviously. But outside of this, we don't have many skill feats for Bibleman. So his skill is pretty solidly above like an average human level for sure.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to the channel now, or else I'm gonna come and fuck everyone you fucking love and pay me lots of fucking money. Goodbye, guys. See you in the next video.